Hi, I'm Tom from CloudCannon. I'm introducing a new multilingual workflow for Astro using the open source tool Rosie and CloudCannon to provide a user-friendly interface for translators. Go make your own copy using a free CloudCannon trial, have a play, and let us know what you think. In a traditional multilingual workflow, we would split different languages by directory and have multiple versions of each page living in different folders. This works fine if you have a text-heavy site with a common layout, but when we start building pages with components, a common workflow in Astro, we start having to maintain layouts across multiple languages and pages. With the Astro Rosie starter, an editor can write a primary language version of a page using components. The starter then generates inputs for translators to enter translations in as many languages as needed. So far, this is pretty standard. On the next build, though, Rosie uses those translations to generate multilingual versions of those pages. As part of that generation, Rosie also automatically creates redirects and handles page metadata for you. You can think of this workflow as being similar to a headless approach, where we separate your content and your layouts. With the Astro Rosie starter, you can make a layout change just once, and all of your multiple language versions of those pages will automatically reflect your layout change. If your content changes, your translator only has to update the text content, and your layouts will still be automatically applied. Let's take a look. We're going to start on the GitHub repo for the Rosie Astro starter. We'll use this template, create a new repository, include all branches, and give our new repo a name. Over in CloudCannon, I want to create a new site from this repo. I'll call it Rosie Astro Demo and set my file source as my new repo. I'll use the staging branch because this is where the translators will do their work. Under site settings, I want to configure some environment variables. My sync path should be /Rosie/. Translate should be set to false here, and I can choose languages I'll need. Today I'll change these to French, Spanish, Swahili, and Maori. I'll also set my base URL to the preview domain that CloudCannon gives me. Then I'll save my config and check out the site so far. Here it is. I also want to add a production site. This is the site that staging and all the translations will publish to. I'll use the same repo but use the main branch. Now I'll jump back to my staging branch and set it to publish to main. Under site settings, publishing, I'll add main as a publish branch. I'll leave this unchecked because I don't want to delete the site after I publish a change. Now we'll wrap these sites as a project in CloudCannon. Let's create a project using my staging branch as the primary source. Making a project means I can branch from my staging site to add features at a later date, and everything is already connected. On the main site settings, I want to change the config. I'll remove the sync paths variable and set translate to true, since this is the production site that will receive the translations. I'll also remove the locales here and then save my config. Back to my staging site, we'll set the locales in our site nav to the languages we need. For each language, I'll add a language code, a name, and a flag. I can now head to my homepage and make a change to my content. Once this change is saved, I'll look at what a translator will see. I have the option to see this text highlighted on the page for added context. For Spanish and French, there's only one change, so I'll add that, and then check out Maori and Swahili. Right now, I'll only add the translated copy for hello. Once I've saved these changes, we can publish them. Let's check out the final product. We have a language switcher here with our flags, and it automatically switches to your chosen language. And your translator only has to do their work in one place. The other cool thing about Rosie is that it respects your browser's language settings. If your browser's set to Spanish, for example, you'll automatically be redirected to the Spanish version of the page. CloudCannon makes editing your Astro website and translating it for international audiences as easy as possible. Try a free trial today.